evening, everyone. I'm Wendy Simmons.
And I'm Carla Laguerta.
And welcome to Switzerland's 5 o'clock news. Tonight's top stories include why Texas Tech chemical engineers are considered the top in the world, and the Florida man who was found earlier this week frozen solid in an ice block in only board shorts and sandals. Those Americans. Now, on to a slightly hotter topic. We will begin by talking about the massive fire that happened last night in Schweizerhalle. In case you're just now tuning into the story, Sandoz Ltd, a chemical storage facility located just outside of Basel in the industrial sector, caught fire last night. The facility sits right on the Rhine River, which is starting to raise some concerns since the facility was holding some pretty serious agrochemicals.
The fire began late last night and burned for 5 hours until the fire department was able to put it out completely. We are getting reports that the facility was completely destroyed and that there are currently chemical waste personnel working on cleaning up the site. We expect it to be a long process until the site is completely remediated. There have been no fatalities or life-threatening injuries reported thus far for the event. However, 14 people, including one firefighter, were taken to the hospital in relation to smoke inhalation.
It is not known entirely what started the blaze yesterday evening, but it is currently being investigated by multiple state and environmental agencies. There is some suspicion of foul play, and with another incident following so close to disasters such as Chernobyl and Bhopal, there is increasing pressure to tighten regulations on safety and environmental concerns.
There are also reports of the Rhine River turning red and fish starting to wash up on shore. This river contamination is a result of the runoff caused by the water used to extinguish the inferno. This could mean detrimental effects for the surrounding towns and countries because the Rhine River runs between France and Germany and through the Netherlands with about 1,000 kilometers until it gets into the North Sea. The scale of the contamination is not known, but we are being told that the river remains a safe source of drinking water. We will now go live to Schweizerhalle, where the fire occurred, to learn more. We are here in Schweizerhalle, where the Sandoz Ltd chemical storage facility lit on fire last night. The fire department spent 5 hours trying to put it out and was finally successful early this morning. There are some worries that because the water used to put out the fire could run off into the Rhine River with it being so close, that there will be some chemicals that run off as well. We are seeing the Red River and also a lot of fish and eels washing up on shore, so we're really worried about the chemicals actually being in the river, but we haven't heard any reports of that yet. We will talk to a chemical specialist later about what exactly was stored in the facility and what we can possibly expect in the next coming weeks, but we're also not really sure how the fire even got started. There are some reports that the KGB had a plot to sabotage the facility, especially because it's so close following the Chernobyl events that happened just months ago. While this is a possibility, it was probably something much more mundane, but we will be talking to a site manager from the facility to learn more about what actually probably happened. We will now speak with a local resident to see what he thought about what happened last night. Sir, can you tell us about your experience?
Yes, ma'am. Last night I was awoken from my slumber from the sirens of local authorities. As I woken up, I smelled the foul smell of rotten eggs and burning rubber. As I quickly ran outside to see what was the situation, I saw a big fire in the industrial park. As I quickly took a closer look, I saw firefighters trying to put out the fire, and it took about 5 hours for them to control the fire in Tamlimin. And after that, I have no idea.
Wow, that must have been really scary. I'm sorry, what is it that you're drinking?
I got this from the river.
Are you sure you should be drinking that?
I was told it was fine to drink.
I'm not so sure about that, but let's go to our chemical specialist and see what he has to say about it.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jerry Markson. I'm being contracted by Sandoz Chemical Company to assess the damage that happened at their facility. Looking at some of the chemicals involved, we have a rhodamine dye, which is a fluorescent dye used to track some of the chemicals, but that's really harmless. It's just going to turn the river red. We have some insecticides and some fungicides that are also present at the facility, but those are just going to get burned up in the fire, so we don't really have to worry about those. We will be conducting tests on the river every week or so to see if the river is inherently safe for the aquatic life living in the river.
Dr. Marston, the eels are dying though.
That's not a big deal. I mean, that's fine.
But Dr. Marston, these concentrations are very high.
Nah, that's fine. That's fine.
But it's double the limit of its normal concentration.
No.
So, to understand what occurred last night within the facility, we're here with a representative from Sandoz Ltd, the site manager for Schweizerhalle. So can you tell us what started the fire last night?
We're still investigating the cause of the fire at this time.
Okay. With the chemicals that you stored, were any of them toxic? And do you know how much was released in this event?
No comment.
Do you know what implications it can have on the people and the environment that live near here and downstream of the river?
We have no reason to think that there's going to be any negative consequences on the environment.
What about the eels that have already started washing up and the fish that are dying?
No comment.
All right, well, there you have it. Well, we've heard from a number of experts in their fields about what happened here last night. And while a lot of the details still aren't known, there will be continue to be investigations, and you can stay tuned to...
So, like, I don't wanna, like, I'm just saying, I think it was the Russians. Like, you know, there's the Chernobyl thing, like, a while back, they pulled shit and had a false flag. Oh, man.
Unfortunately, our live broadcast had to be interrupted. However, we are now able to get more insight on what went wrong. The cause is no longer believed to be contributed to the KGB as theorized by some in our broadcasts, and is now believed to possibly be attributed to the packaging process. This process at the facility involves stacking blocks of Prussian blue dye wrapped in paper and then wrapping the blocks with plastic and using a blowtorch to shrink wrap it. This blowtorch is believed to have ignited the dye, starting a small, slow-burning fire. This has not yet been proven, but is the most likely cause. No one has been charged with starting the fire, but 2 firefighters have been charged with allowing the runoff water into the Rhine River. We are thankful that this incident has not caused any deaths. However, there are still a handful of people injured, and we are not all safe yet. Overall, the biggest misstep in this disaster so far is the lack of availability of up-to-date and accurate information concerning what was stored in the facility and what was released. The disaster has been made worse by the apathetic officials and company representatives. In the coming months and most likely years, we are hoping that more care and attention will be focused on cleaning up this disaster, protecting the public, and finding more ways to prevent incidents such as this from happening in the future.
Hi, I am Jamie Martson, and we are here at the 30-year review panel of the Sanders warehouse fire that broke out at Schweizerhalle, Switzerland. We just saw the news report that was conducted the day after the fire, and we are here to analyze what went wrong and what could have been done differently to prevent this incident and the fallacies in the media report. Lots of agrochemicals flowed into the Rhine River, and we have Brendan Wicks here to talk about the long-term effects.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yes, this incident was an unfortunate one. There was about 30 tons of chemical discharge that affected over 450 kilometers on the Rhine River, which resulted in the death of aquatic life. One of the biggest deaths is the European eel, which is now an endangered species. In terms of human casualties, this event was an near miss. If the same amount of concentration was exposed to the human population, it would have been a devastating disaster. Unfortunately, one of the biggest problems in the Rhine River is restoring its ecosystem. It took many years for the aquatic life to reach its original state.
Thank you, Brendan Wicks, for sharing that information with us. Now we take a look at what could have been done differently to minimize the incident of this, and we have Tad Weisner here to speak on this.
So looking at the incident, we see that there are a lot of things that were done incorrectly or could have been done better. So one of the things they did was stop the public from drinking the water. But that happened 3 days after the fire, after the chemicals were released into the Rhine. Then also it took 6 years to fully remediate the site. And then looking at the fire itself, the combustion products weren't tested. The air samples weren't tested as soon as the fire was happening. And then soil samples and water samples were tested much later down the road. And looking at what should have been done better, they should have remediated the site quicker. It shouldn't have taken a full 6 years for them to fix that problem. And then also samples should have been taken immediately as the fire had started to accurately test what was being released into the environment. And then also care should have been taken to prevent people from drinking the water as soon as that had happened. So they should have swung a little bit harder on that one.
Well, thank you, Ted Weisner, for sharing that information with us. Maybe if this mitigation steps were taken back in 1986, the after results could have been better. Due to this incident, laws must have been made to prevent an incident like this from happening again. We have a law expert with us, Craig McKinley, to discuss the laws that were made due to this incident.
Right. Thank you for having me today. In 1987, following the Sandoz disaster, citizen outcry regarding chemical discharge into the Rhine gave rise to the Rhine Action Program. This program increased the safety regulations for industries on the Rhine, required that revived shoreline ecosystems were populated with indigenous species, and encouraged the breeding of salmon on the river. The Rhine Action Program was a great success. Nitrate and phosphate concentrations were slashed in half, and salmon returned to the Rhine in 1997, 3 years ahead of schedule. The success of this program inspired subsequent legislation. The ambitious Rhine 2020 program was created by ministers in charge of the Rhine in 2001. It had the goal of protecting the groundwater tables of the region, improving water quality by slashing concentrations of heavy metals like zinc, cadmium, and copper, and continued to increase the Rhine salmon population to a sustainable level. The program never would have been authored if it wasn't for the outcry following the initial fire.
Most definitely. Well, thank you, Craig and McKinley, for giving us an insight on the laws that were put into place. 30 years later, surely the Schweizerhalle site must have changed. We have Jenny Lang here with us today, and she will give us an insight on how the site has changed since the Sandoz incident.
Thank you. So chemical companies are no longer allowed in the industrial area of Schweizerhalle. It is now home to pharmaceutical industries and energy companies. On November 16, 2018, Clarion and Novartis sold their respective industrial parks located in Schweizerhalle to GETEC Heat and Power, a German company that offers a full portfolio of energy services for industries. With GETEC as the new operator of these industrial parks that cover 51 acres, Schweizerhalle can look to gain some competition as a chemical life science park that can create better growing opportunities for companies that want to operate in this site. Two chemical companies, Bayer and BASF, also have manufacturing sites at these industrial parks. We are hoping that the Rhine 2020 program is successful in making this area clean and prosperous again.
Thank you, Jenny Lang, for sharing that information, and thank you all for tuning in into this 30-year panel where we review the Sandoz incident. This event helped shape safety in chemical industries as well as laws that were put into place to prevent something like this from happening again. As life moves forward, let's remember to keep safety born. Thank you.
Woo!
Good evening, everyone. I'm Wendy Laguerre.
Oh wait, that's super.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm Wendy Simmons.
And I'm Carly Garrett.
In case you are just now tuning in, Sandoza Ltd., a chemical storage facility located just south.
I was contracted by Sandoz Chemical Company to analyze the result at their facility. Looking at some of the chemicals involved. Looking at some of the chemicals involved in aquatic life. And, I mean, it might kill a few eels, but they're easier to catch them.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, dude, that was bad. That was.
Well, tune in later to our chemical specialist, Jerry Martson. Our chemical specialist, Jeremy